following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
Welcome to the Local Spin. I'm Lou Custodi, and this is where we have conversations with Western New York's most creative visionaries. And when I put this podcast together, my thought was to have a platform for artists of all genres to come in and talk about their art, what makes them tick, why they do what they do, how they do what they do. And when I thought about the arts, I thought about the performing arts, I thought about the theatrical arts, I thought about fine arts. And today we have a guest who's in what they call, or what I would call, the botanical arts. I don't know if such a term exists. Cindy Kowal, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming in. And is there something that actually exists called the botanical arts?
Well, thank you for having me. Hello. The botanical arts, I would say absolutely. There's beauty in all nature and botany, and we can find that.
Well, if not, we're coining it here today, and I'm going to copyright it or trademark
That's wonderful.
If there's not. Anyway, Cindy, thank you for coming in. You are a teacher. A little bit of your background is you taught in the public school system for years, correct?
Yes. I even taught in Newport district, which is very close by. I was a French teacher for 32 years. I took this class literally a month after my retirement. And I fell in love with the class, and the instructor at the end of the class asked if anyone in the class was interested in becoming a Buffalo teacher, because he was a Rochester teacher.
And the class that we're talking about is the art of bonsai, right?
Yes.
And you notice the way I said it, because you corrected everybody in the class that I took. It's not a bonsai tree.
Correct.
It is a bonsai.
Yes.
And you can explain that. I won't take any of your thunder away from you.
Yeah, so I fell in love with the class, got to talking with the instructor, and the next thing I knew, I was training to become a bonsai instructor. Bonsai Bar is a company that started in 2021 by a gentleman named Tim Arsenault, and his idea was to bring tiny trees into the community, into breweries, into cafes, private social events, to really bring it to the masses, his love for bonsai to the masses. And I just love the whole philosophy of the company, and the fact that it is teaching. It's not a foreign language. I was a French teacher for 32 years. It's not a foreign language, but it is an art. And bonsai actually it is a Japanese art form. It's not a particular kind of tree. Bonsai literally translates to shallow tray, and sai translates to tree. And it is a Japanese art form. It is not a particular kind of tree, which it's a misconception.
Sure.
For a
So
lot of people.
when people say that they have a bonsai tree, that's like something that was put out from the Department of Redundancy Department,
Yes.
right? It just means a
Yes.
tree in a tray is what you said.
Yes.
And you and I didn't know each other at all. And what happened was my daughter and my son-in-law surprised me for my birthday back in October to one of the classes. I had no idea where I was going. I was just totally confused. They told me about 15 different stories about what we were doing that day. I didn't know where I was going. We were supposed to go one place, and I was driving in the car saying, well, they're going the wrong way. And my wife's just saying, just follow them. They know where they're going. So we wound up at the Bonsai Bar. And I didn't even know it existed. So let's talk about that structure where you and I actually met.
Okay, so I teach 1 to 2 classes a month at OSB. It is a cider house. If you haven't been to OSB, downtown Buffalo, on Main Street, it is a really neat, unique place.
Is that where we were?
That's where we were.
Because I thought it
OSB.
said Bonsai Bar on it.
Yeah, Bonsai Bar is the name of the company.
It's the name of the company,
And
okay.
they push into really
And what does
anywhere.
OSB stand for?
I'm not sure.
But it's
It's not my bar.
OSB.
Yes, OSB.
Okay,
Yes.
and it's a really, really neat room. It's a great environment. Now, it could be because we were there on a Saturday afternoon and it was early in the day, but you walk in and they have a regular bar, and then there were all these teas, I believe, right? They had a lot of teas?
They have mostly different kinds of cider.
Cider. It was cider,
Yeah,
okay.
cider.
All
So
right,
they
I was
offer
mistaken.
even like a beet cider. They're all different seasonal
And
ciders.
it's really neat artwork on the wall.
Yeah.
And does it always have that kind of vibe
Yes.
in there?
Yes.
The music is really kind of, it's almost ethereal. So.
Yes, and they have different events there, like snail races, and they have homemade or glass
Snail race, isn't that
snail.
like the ultimate oxymoron?
Yes, yeah. Yes, it is.
Okay, all right. I
so
would
they have
imagine it
different
lasts
events.
quite a long time.
Yes, you have to have a lot of patience.
Yeah, I would imagine. So just going back to when we first met, we came in. I didn't even know what to expect until I actually got there, and they said surprise, and I was like, "So what is this now?"
Yeah,
and
sure.
This is what, a bonsai class at a bonsai bar, and they're like, "Yeah." So we came in, and we went through the process. I remember that everybody got settled down. We were at the tables, and then you said, "Okay, there's a table here.
Yeah.
Go pick out a tree."
Right.
And from there, we went and we got our trees, and then we brought them back to our little stations, and then the instruction ensued.
Yes. I bring a variety of trees because people they're all different, just like people. And basically, after you select a pot and a tree, you sit at like a little bin set up with all of the tools that you need. It's a 2-hour class, and it's divided basically into 4 sections. The first section is just, what is bonsai? What are we doing here? Why are we trimming back these trees? What is the purpose? And the purpose of bonsai is to really recreate an idealized miniature landscape, and we're restricting the growth in the pot. That's the whole idea. So a lot of people have either a trepidation in trimming so much of their tree off.
Well, that
That's
was
the part-
everybody in that
Yes,
class,
that was the
including my
stressful
wife,
part.
whose tree still looks almost identically to when you
Yeah.
put it on her table and she brought it home. I keep
Yes.
telling her, no, it doesn't need to be trimmed anymore. It's fine just
Yeah.
the way it is. And
Yeah. Well, so the beginning of the class is intro, just trying to make it very less intimidating for people. And that's the whole idea of Bonsai Bar, is to take something that is a beautiful art and giving some basic principles, not rules, but principles of bonsai to allow you to sit with your tree and watch it grow, have a vision, have patience. So we're about as oxymoron again, we're about as instant bonsai as you can get. So bonsai is not instant. So the nature of the class, everyone wants to leave with a perfect tree, and that doesn't always happen.
And what is a perfect tree, though, too, right?
It's to the artist.
All right.
All right, so this guy right here,
That's one of yours now that you brought
that's
in.
mine.
Okay.
A year and a half ago had not one leaf on it, and I was ready to.
You probably cut them all off, Cindy.
No, I didn't. It just it went through a little temper tantrum. It dropped all of its leaves, and now I'm styling it to a semi-cascade, and it's, as you can see, it's really and even in the spring, it's just going to burst.
Well, you said that you have to have a lot of patience, and I was shocked to find out how old these little trees actually are already.
Yes, they're a couple years old.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I thought that, well, this thing had to be like 6 months old or something, and it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
We have to give you something that you can work with, something, that you can create. But, so the second half of the class is basically the repotting and finding the nabari, which are the roots that splay over the top of the bonsai soil. And people are shocked that this even exists underneath the natural organic soil, the potting soil. So you're trying to find the tree's front, like what side is its best side, pot it in a way that is either centered in the pot or up higher in the pot to show off the nabari. The third part of the class is styling. And by that time, some people have had a couple drinks and they get a little braver in their styling. And then the fourth part of the class is aftercare.
Sure. And one of the things I could remember is when we got to the potting, you're like, just rip it out of there. Just get the thing. And everybody in the class is like, they don't want to touch it. And you're kind of like a maniac with it. It's like, come on, just brush it. You're not going to hurt it.
They're hardier than you think.
Yeah, I think
as
that's
long
exactly
as you don't
what you said.
damage the root ball, they're hardier than you think.
And the nubari, that was something that I didn't know anything about, and I always thought it was kind of cool the way some of the roots would come
Yeah,
out.
so a great example is my 7-year-old dwarf umbrella. also known as Schefflera arbicola.
Okay.
Up there, he's got beautiful, beautiful nabari, and that develops over time. So we teach two different varieties of trees. These are a little more finicky. This is a Portulacaria afra, known as P. afra. Nurseries will call it a dwarf jade. It's really not a true jade. It is a succulent, so it will suck up all the water that you will give it. It reacts better to wiring because it's full of water.
Okay.
So this tree survives drought in South Africa. So the trick is light and water for this species. This species is a dwarf umbrella tree. It's native to Korea and Taiwan. A little bit easier care. That's a great beginner tree. It's also akin to the banyan tree, the tree of life, similar to a money tree.
I just find the whole thing fascinating, and my fascination with bonsai, the reason why, and I have to be honest with you, that they thought this was a great gift for me, which it was, and I loved it.
Yeah,
and I've been talking
makes
to
a great
everybody
gift.
about it, was that 1984, I believe, 85, somewhere around there, The Karate Kid comes out.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, The Karate Kid comes out, and it's
Yeah.
a very, very popular movie, right?
Yeah.
Ralph Macchio's Daniel LaRussa.
Right.
And then you got Pat Morita. He's Mr. Miyagi.
Yes.
And I'll never forget 2 or 3 scenes they had. Mr. Miyagi in his garden, and he's trimming these trees, and he's got the little scissors, and just taking so care. I was absolutely just captivated by that. I really was.
Yes.
Both my father and myself, we thought it was great. Well, it wasn't too long after that I decided I was going to go get my own bonsai tree.
All right.
Or my own bonsai, I should
Yes,
say. I don't want to
yes.
be redundant over the
Yes.
thing again. But so I did. And it was a particular kind. It wasn't a jade. It was a juniper.
Okay.
So you know what that looks like.
Yes.
And it came across. And I did my best to keep that thing alive for about 2.5, 3 years. Well, it didn't make it.
Yeah.
And I was very disappointed. A few years later, I go out, I get another tree. Start the whole process all over again. I have it for about 3 years, doesn't make it. And I've named every single one of my trees Mr. Miyagi. And when we came to your class, after killing 3 Mr. Miyagis,
Oh, 3.
at least, my wife begged me, do not name this tree Mr. Miyagi.
Yes, I could see why.
So what did I name the tree?
Mrs. Miyagi?
No, Mr. Miyagi. I want a Mr. Miyagi on my shelf that I can look at. And right now, the tree that we did when we came to see you, he's hanging in there.
Yeah.
He looks pretty good. Actually, he looks pretty much like what I'm seeing here on the table.
Yeah.
My wife, Maria, named her tree Lucky. And she tells it all the time how lucky that tree is not to have me as a caretaker and to have
That's
her
great.
as a caretaker.
That's
Because she
great.
has no history of killing bonsai, where obviously I do. But that's where from that movie, I really thought, this is the neatest thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Bonsai really, it's a living art. And I think in this culture that we are living in, as far as instant gratification and the screen time, it's a way of touching grass, if you will.
Sure.
But as we know, going out and touching grass, the phrase has become sort of like a catchphrase, go touch grass. But literally, when you touch grass and your feet are on the grass, it calms your anxiety. You feel more grounded. And that's also the idea. It's to make this less intimidating. Know that you're going to make mistakes. I have killed trees as well. I was a French teacher, not a bonsai master, and I'm still not. It's about a life lesson and what the tree can teach you. And you can overlove them too. You can give them too much attention as well. So
Well.
I've had to learn to take care of hundreds of trees now. In the summertime, they love being outside. The sun, how hot of a summer we had, they just loved it.
thrived in
And
that.
then we bring them inside when
Sure.
it starts to freeze. So they're in my basement. This variety, they get a little fussy when you have like a change of environment, but they all did fine. But they do drop some leaves, just like trees do outside, right? in
It's
the
to be
fall.
expected, right?
It is to be expected, and a lot of times people panic, and they're fine. They're fine. In fact, I've had trees that have lost every single leaf, like this one, and when they come back, the leaves come back smaller because we've dwarfed the growth of the tree. They come back
Interesting.
smaller.
Okay. Well, you know what? This is a great place to take our first break. I think what we'll do is we'll take a break. We'll come back and continue that line of questioning. We'll pay some bills here and hear from our sponsor.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Make Wellness products are formulated and designed to work in harmony with your body to boost energy, enhance focus, optimize metabolism, and support muscle recovery. Whether you're looking to sharpen your mind, fuel your workouts, or achieve lasting wellness, Make Wellness supplements provide targeted solutions backed by science and clean ingredients.
Welcome back to the Local Spin, sitting with Cindy Kowal, and she is a bonsai instructor. If you have not had the opportunity to go out and take the class over at the OSB in downtown Buffalo, I highly recommend it because it is something that will put you in a different frame of mind. I don't think that you could go into that environment, take that class, sit down with you, you're a lovely instructor,
Thank you.
and go through the process and have any type of anxiety. There is something medicinal about these little trees and caring for them. Just before we broke, you had said that when you trim it back a lot and the leaves may fall off, when they come back, because of the restricted growth, the leaves come back a little bit smaller.
Yes, yes. And certain trims, and I didn't get into this in depth during the class because it's not appropriate at that time, and you kind of have to see for yourself. Trimming a certain way on this particular kind of tree allows for ramification, and ramification is really like a thickening of the pad. So when a bonsai tree is more fully developed, as you can see in this style, we have the leaves. It's not it's a branch with leaves. It's supposed to look like a tree. John Naka was one of the most famous bonsai artists that ever lived, and he was beloved because he shared his knowledge. He didn't keep his knowledge, and his philosophy was, don't make your tree look like a bonsai, make your bonsai look like a tree.
Okay.
And if you think
Makes
about
sense.
that, it's supposed to look like a tree. So we give you something that looks like, it is a mini tree, but it's very bushy. It's like a little mini bush.
It
And
looked like a bush, actually, to be
yes,
honest with
well,
you, what we
yeah,
started with.
But we're making it look like a tree.
And there was a lot of anxiety
Oh,
from the
yeah.
people because they don't want to take those branches off. They don't want
Right.
to take the leaves off.
Right. And it's about having a vision and seeing how, like, this was exactly my idea from the start for this particular tree. Would this have worked, the semi-cascade, would this have worked with any tree? Probably not.
How long is that going to grow? I mean, the part that you call it cascading down and across.
As long as it grows slowly because it's constricted.
Right.
But it will keep growing in this direction. And when you wire a tree like this, these respond very well to watering because they're so full of water.
Okay.
But you can still keep bending. I can bend this up like that to change the shape, and then I remove the wire when I feel it has the shape that I want it to. But I can still keep on bending that to a total cascade style.
I thought it was really, really interesting the way you explained the way in which you wrap the branch. You can wrap the branch in a way that will cascade down with the
Yes,
wire,
right.
or you can wrap the branch in a way in which the cascade will go up.
Yes,
And
yes.
unless it's like everything else, right? You don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
But I don't think anybody would have ever thought that you could have that much control over a plant.
Yes, yeah. And it is about control in a way when you get to the wiring part. But so not everybody chooses to wire their tree because maybe that's too much control and that's not their vision for the tree and what they want it to be. Our other species, it responds to wiring, but not quite as. You can see it has a woodier branches. It doesn't respond quite as well.
Looks a little more brittle, actually. I don't know if it is.
So these are mature trees, but when we give them to, they do have some green branches. If it's green, it can be wired. So my class on Saturday, I did teach the dwarf umbrella, and we had a couple people who said, I'd like to change the shape of this because one of the branches was coming directly toward the viewer, right, from the front of the tree. One of the aesthetics of bonsai is you shouldn't have any, hanging branches, dangling bar branches. Those are branches that are directly across from each other, because that creates a problem when it grows an inward taper. So we want to have.
Let me just ask you this, because
Mhm.
is that's like one of the things you said, like one of the rules, or however
guidelines.
you say.
I wouldn't say
Guidelines,
rules. Yeah.
Guidelines. What are the guidelines?
Yeah.
Where do the guidelines come from? Are we talking about
Just it's
thousands of years going back to Japan?
Yeah, just general bonsai aesthetics, I call them.
Because there's not a governing board for
No.
bonsai.
No, I mean there are some. If you go to the formal competitions, some of these trees would be knocked out in the first round. This is a beginner class and beginner bonsai, so it's just kind of whet your appetite.
So let me ask you this:
to promote more interest.
I'm so fascinated by this. I have so many questions. So these are young trees.
Yeah.
Right? So you say, well,
Yeah.
they'd get knocked out of competition. But isn't that what a young tree should look like?
Yes, it should.
So
It should.
when they go to competition, are they
They're-
taking trees that are 20, 30, 40 years
even
old?
older.
Even older.
Yeah, depending. I mean, the most expensive bonsai that was ever sold, as you learned in class, was for
Right.
$1.3 million in Takamutsu, Japan.
Amazing.
And it was an 800-year-old
800
white
years.
pine.
So what do they have, like documentation saying?
Yes.
So it's like going from one family to another, or it stays within the family?
These trees outlive their owners, and so they do pass them down.
And they
to the
pass them
next
down.
Generation, yes.
And there's a paper trail saying
yeah.
where it came from
and its value.
and its value.
Yeah.
And who places the value on it?
I'm not sure about that. But its value does come from its age.
Okay.
Does it have a weathered look? Is it proportional in the pot? Its health. There's a lot of things it's judged on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in our markets, value is based on what a willing seller will
Mhm.
accept from a willing buyer, and what a
Mhm.
willing buyer will pay to a willing seller. That's how we develop it here in our open markets. I would imagine that there are a lot of attributes to bonsai that the average person, especially here,
Yeah.
doesn't know about.
Right. It's almost like you think you have a beautiful dog until you bring it to the
Dog show.
The dog show.
Yeah.
Right. It's like purebred.
Right, I get it.
So yeah.
Well, you had started to talk about transferring the trees from indoors to outdoors and then back outdoors.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I realized when I first started down this path of killing trees, which I've now firmly resolved not to be on that path. I'm going to get Mr. Miyagi, that whatever version he is, to stay around for a very long period of time. You have to really care for these in a certain way, right? You can't
Yes.
provide too much touching, because every time I go near my plant, Maria's always like, get away from it. You're not supposed to be doing that. You have to do just very little, but you can't ignore it either.
Exactly.
So what do you do from season to season?
So in the summertime, it's very easy. They're up on pallets, and I just take the hose and water them all, and then they just soak up that
And when you
beautiful
say
sun.
they and all, do we have a quantifying?
So Bonsai Bar, the owner just moved to Florida with his family. His name is Tim Arsenault. And these trees come in from Rhode Island, and I get a shipment about every 3 months, and I also supply trees to Rochester, so I'm the caretaker of the Rochester Bonsai Bar trees as well.
Okay.
And
How many?
how many? I want to say I have about almost. Let's see. I just took inventory. About 160 to 70 trees.
You've got 160 little trees?
Yeah,
And-
they're not potted like this. This is the
Oh, I was
final
going to
part.
say, where the hell you
So,
putting them?
I know they're in my basement right now.
They're in the basement.
Yes,
But
under,
then they're
under grow lights.
See, now
Under
that's
grow
the
lights.
key.
Yes, it is the key. But even when I moved,
But that's got to take up an awful lot of room.
It does take up a lot
It's
of
got to
room.
be a room the size of the studio, I would imagine.
No. It's probably
100 trees?
Yeah, they can fit several, and I have 9 sort of plastic bins, and I can fit 36 of this variety, and about 22 of this variety in each bin. So then I water them and I rotate them.
You must have a system, right, of
Yes,
watering?
yes.
That I will say one thing
Yes, I
about these
do.
trees. Watering them is not easy.
Yeah.
because when you water them, all of the soil goes everywhere.
Yeah.
So,
So
what
you
is your
can-
secret to that?
So the watering issue. All right. So
See, there is an issue. You said the watering issue there.
Bonsai Bar changed its policy. So
Okay.
watering was always, and I was taught from the bottom with these guys.
Mhm.
So you get an old Tupperware and you fill it up about halfway with water. You set a timer for 10 minutes and you walk away. People were not coming back and they were drowning their trees. Remember, these are succulents. They're going to suck up everything.
Okay.
And they were drowning their trees.
They have a drinking problem.
Yes.
Okay.
So we are now, the watering policy at Bonsai Bar has changed, and now we water from the top. You can just take a little cup of water and, put it in your sink, take a little cup of water and just do real quick and just let it flow.
Yeah, but
out
all
the
of the
bottom.
stuff comes out on top, and it goes
A
into
little bit might come out. Not if you're gentle and just give it a little. But if you have a
That's
sprayer,
what I'm doing. I got
if
a
you-
sprayer. I'm
yeah,
doing it.
Then just go to a little cup of
A
water.
little cup.
Yeah, you can.
But how do you know? See, all right. I remember what you said. Too much water is probably the worst thing, and that's what most of them die of.
Yes.
They die because of overwatering.
Yes, and that
So
can
we are
lead to
not
root
overwatering
rot.
them. But when I go up to these plants and I put my finger in the little thing, I can't even get inside of it.
So
So that's too dry.
that is a little dry. Another thing to do is to feel the leaves.
Okay.
They should feel plump, and they shouldn't feel wrinkly. He needs a drink right now. I didn't want to give him a drink and bring him out in the cold weather, but you can see I've got a little bit of wrinkly leaves.
So if it starts to look wrinkly, that's when
Yeah.
you say, okay, they have
And
to
it's
be
okay
watered.
if they get a little wrinkly. They're just going to plump right back up the next day. It's better that than overwatering. Then your leaves are going to turn mushy and yellow, and they will fall off for sure. So underwatering with the species is a little bit better.
A little bit better.
They
than
like to get
overwatering.
completely wet
Yeah.
and then completely dry out. to
Okay.
avoid
I can't wait till the
root
summer
rot.
where I can bring my guy
Oh
outside,
my gosh,
leave him outside.
they explode in the summer. So they struggle a little bit in Buffalo. We're not South Africa, we're Buffalo here, so in Niagara Falls.
Mhm.
So they do struggle a little bit. You have to give them a little TLC, but not to worry if they drop leaves.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's take our final break. We'll hear from our sponsor, Make Wellness Peptides. All the rage happening right now. We'll be back to finish up with Cindy Kowal and the art of bonsai.
Make Wellness products are formulated and designed to work in harmony with your body to boost energy, enhance focus, optimize metabolism, and support muscle recovery. Whether you're looking to sharpen your mind, fuel your workouts, or achieve lasting wellness, Make Wellness supplements provide targeted solutions backed by science and clean ingredients.
Welcome back to the Local Spin. With me today is Cindy Kowal, bonsai instructor for the Bonsai Bar. And Cindy, you just mentioned that there is a website for people if they're interested.
Yes, our my February class is sold out already, February
Wow.
7th.
Look at that.
But a lot of people received Bonsai Bar gift certificates for the holidays. It does make a perfect gift. You can go on to the website, bonsaibar.com, click on New York State, and you will be, after payment, you'll be issued a QR code. You don't need to print anything out. I can look you up by name, so as long as you're paid, you show up earlier for the class. Class starts at 1 o'clock. It's good to get there about 12:30 so you can get yourself settled in with beverage and pick out your tree and relax and settle in.
And you mentioned that Bonsai Bar New York. Is it all over the country?
New York City, yes. There's several workshops.
Really?
Yes. In Rochester as well. And there's another in New York State, and I forget the name of the city. But yeah, there's probably like 4 cities that offer
Well, I
Bonsai
can
Bar.
attest to the fact that it makes a wonderful gift.
Yes.
Because I was just thrilled when we got there, and I look at my little tree all the time, and I don't touch him too much.
That's good.
I think that when you look at a bonsai and you're trying to form it, you have to have some sort of vision.
Yes.
And there's a process there, I would imagine.
So if you are not used to looking at trees, and I think a lot of people don't typically study trees, we do in class, I do ask that you hold your tree up at eye level and think about what it's going to look like when you make cuts into the tree. Every cut is a decision. It's a final decision. I joke around that I don't have bonsai bar glue to glue your tree back together if you trim too much. But you should have a vision and have patience. And I think that you can't undo it, right? So people get a little nervous to make some cuts. But as long as you have a vision and patience and a plan for the tree, you're going to be successful.
And they're all different. They're supposed to be different, obviously.
Yes.
That's the entire
Yes.
art and the concept of it. How long do these trees that are like a year and a half, 2 years old, how long do they stay in that little tray?
All right. They stay in the 5-inch pot. They say 18 months.
18 months.
But
So are we
it
supposed to be
depends on
counting this, or how do you? No.
You can kind of tell when it's outgrown the pot. He's getting a little close because of just the cascading over the edge of the pot, and a little bit, it's not in proportion. This guy is perfectly proportioned to the size pot. So you can kind of tell they really get root bound. And like you said, the soil almost becomes cemented in there.
Yeah.
But the growth is very slow. So about every, I'd say, 18 months to 2 years, and you go up to another inch. So you go 5 to 6, 6 to 7.
So what is that one there? 7? The blue one?
This is a 6-inch pot,
That's
I
6,
believe.
okay.
Yeah, and Ernie up here, he is in a 7-inch pot, and he's a little over 7 years old.
Did you start him when he was little?
I did not. He was gifted to me.
Okay.
The rest of these, I have designed.
So I remember seeing, now I don't know whether it was online, in a TV show, but I remember seeing, or maybe a movie, because after The Karate Kid, there were bonsais everywhere.
Yes.
It seemed. So I remember seeing a very, very big pot. And I want to say that the pot was almost the cutout of these 4 squares, and the tree was big, and it was like this, and it came over and cascaded, and there was a rock on one side, and they made it like a little garden and everything inside this giant pot.
Yes.
So how old could that have possibly been?
That depends on the variety. I'm going to guess that it was a pine. Those are usually the ones that are the oldest and last the longest. So
Pine, a regular pine tree.
Yeah, white pine usually.
So I think I remember you saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you could do this with just about any tree.
Yes.
Any tree.
You can bonsai, and I'm so glad you brought that up. You can bonsai or apply these principles, this art form, to anything that has a root ball, a trunk, and leaves. So you can bonsai an azalea, a Japanese maple. And I think that's the part of the teaching. And about this class, it makes you go into a nursery maybe with a bonsai eye now and thinking, oh, I can bonsai this. So we teach you how to apply these principles to any tree, really.
And are they all going to behave pretty much the same way in terms of the watering and the sun, or do you have to figure that?
No, it depends.
No, they're not.
Yes,
Because they're all in different species.
Yeah, and some are like the conifers you have to winterize and bring outside during part of the year, even when it's freezing. So it really depends on the species.
So these little guys are the ones that are very sensitive, because you said they came from Africa.
Yes,
So
they're
they
native
like
to
the
Africa.
sun, they like the hot, they need both. You bring them out in the summertime.
Yeah, usually mid-June.
And unless the weather is going to be really bad, they're staying out, right?
Oh, they stay out all summer. They
But,
stayed out till
not in a
mid-October.
storm or anything like that.
Oh no, they were fine in the storm.
They're
Yeah.
fine in a storm.
Yeah. My backyard, I live in Tonawanda, New York, and my backyard, there's so many deer though, so we had to.
Well, they taste pretty good.
Yeah.
They actually do taste good.
Yeah, they are edible. And this species makes up 80% of an elephant's diet in some overlapping regions of Africa. So because they're filled with water.
Sure.
So I had to, Ben came and helped me. He really set up the whole outside setup for me. He said, let's get these trees outside because they're really going to thrive in buffalo weather in the summer. So we set up a outside system, and it's deer proof with what is the metal
Like chicken wire or something?
Thank you.
around it?
Chicken wire over the
Okay.
top. Deer wire over
Deer
the
wire.
top
Okay.
because we have so many deer in our backyard, and I know they would have really found those
Well,
to be
you
a
were the
tasty
one who
treat.
said that you could taste the leaf, and naturally I
Yes.
did.
Yes.
I had to convince everybody else at the
Yeah.
table to taste it. My son-in-law, I tasted it. It's absolute. There's nothing wrong with it. You could put
Yeah.
those things in salads, and
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
would love them.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
taste absolutely delicious. They're very, very
Yeah.
fresh tasting.
Yeah. These are not edible though.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are toxic to pets. So that is a
Oh.
consideration for some people taking
Sure.
the class.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So if you have a pet, you'd have to really do a little bit of research and see
Yes.
which one is best suited for
Yes.
your own
Yeah.
personal environment there.
Yeah. So Bonsai Bar is also rolling out some new species, so look forward to that.
So if somebody took a class, let's say in
Mhm.
October, would it behoove them to come back, let's say in May or June or July?
One of the beautiful things about this class, one of the many beautiful things about this class, I run into former students
Mhm.
that I had 25 years ago.
Sure.
I run into students' parents. I run into people I used to work with. So it's pretty cool. But what's even cooler is that people come back 2 and 3 times, even though they've done both tree. They've done both variety of trees. I've got people coming back for a third class. So that's pretty cool.
I love the way Japanese maple trees look. I'm going to see if I can do something like that. So
It's
let me-
gonna and go for it.
Do you
Those are
like-
hard to propagate. Those are I would start
everything
with
I
a
want
young
to do
one.
is hard.
Yeah, that's one of hard. That is hard to propagate.
But if you wanted to do it, and this is just a very, very bird's eye view of what I would do. I would somehow try to get a thick branch. I would try
Yes.
to root it. Once I got the roots, I would then plant it
in soil.
in soil.
Yes.
And then hope and pray that
Yeah,
we
and
got something.
so I would say try out a nursery and see if you can find a young, like about the size of the trees that we have. You know,
Uh-huh.
it's established, but
Do they
from
have those?
yeah, I think you can find. I'm not sure about the Japanese maple, but you can find trees that could be bonsai'd. Sure, in
I'm gonna
nurseries.
try it.
Yeah,
I'm totally so interested in this, and it gives you pleasure.
yes,
To see something that you've cultivated and see it grow and shape it and take form. I just can see getting very, very attached to these little guys
yeah.
and then not wanting to let them go. And then before you know it, the entire home is filled with
Yeah, I have 10 in pots.
10 of your own personal,
Yes.
aside from the 130 that you're
Yeah.
curating.
Yes.
Okay.
yes. And every once in a while, you see one, you say, oh, that one's going to make a really wonderful tree. But people, what the beauty is I say choose a tree when you're picking out the tree you're going to bonsai. Choose something that speaks to you. And every tree has a little story to tell and speaks differently to its owners.
Well, one final question before we wrap things up here. You said that you were teaching and then you retired
Mm-hmm.
and then you just got into this other line.
Very unexpectedly.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you just kind of like made mention of it.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to get you to where you are today? Because it's...
Well, I was trained by the Rochester teacher.
So you
and
went and took a class.
Yes, he trained me. He
All right.
trained me.
Did
It
you
was
take
like
a class
turnkey.
kind of like I took a class?
Yes.
Okay.
That was my first class. I didn't bring that tree, but I still have it from
All
my
right.
very first class. And I listened to the directions and
Being a natural teacher, you were like, wait a minute.
yeah. So it's just been such a cool experience. I never thought as a retired French teacher I would fall into this, but here I am. Just by taking the class, I fell in love with it. And I think a lot of people do. And
And there's a
that's-
certain calmness about you.
oh,
I have to
thank
tell you that. So I don't know
Thank
whether it's
you.
your natural teaching ability, your teaching style, or whether these trees just calm everybody down.
Yeah, they
Which
do.
I think maybe it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Well, this has
Thank
been
you.
absolutely wonderful. One more time, how do people get in touch with you?
They can go to bonsaibar.com and you can find all of the information about. You can take a class in Rochester. You could take the Buffalo class that is offered here at OSB downtown Buffalo, and it's offered once a month.
Beautiful.
First Saturday of the month.
Thank you, Cindy Kowal.
Thank you.
Bonsai. We can't say
It is
master.
Kowal. It is Kowal.
Oh,
Cindy Kowal.
the whole time I'm calling you the wrong.
That's all right.
I should have said something. Cindy Kowal.
Kowal. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming
right,
in. I
thank
really
you.
appreciate it. I hope you had a
Thanks.
good time.
I did. Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you again next time on the Local Spin.
Make Wellness products are formulated and designed to work in harmony with your body to boost energy, enhance focus, optimize metabolism, and support muscle recovery. Whether you're looking to sharpen your mind, fuel your workouts, or achieve lasting wellness, Make Wellness supplements provide targeted solutions backed by science and clean ingredients.